Clear on the audio and video so that I know I can continue from my side. Okay, I think looks like we are absolutely okay to go. Yeah. So, in case you have any doubts on relationships, any queries, you do shoot a mail to me or put in the comment box. I will answer it in the next time whenever I get a chance to do that. In the meantime, I got a question from somebody last week about what is the difference between self-esteem, self-respect, and ego. So, what is that line that is drawn between? How do I know is mine is not ego and it is my personal self-respect? I'll answer this question and then I'll move to relationship management. Few aspects of relationship that should be taken care very, very sincerely and seriously, so that you don't have to get some goof ups or misunderstanding, which can actually turn into blunders in relationship, which I will discuss after answering this question. I'll keep it very simple and very short for you to understand the difference between self-respect and ego. The self-respect is absolutely in the context of me. The moment I start comparing myself with somebody, or the moment I introduce one more identity or one more person and I start comparing me with that person, I think that is where the ego seeps in. For example, when I say I am good, I think that is my self-respect, that is my pride, that is nothing to do with my ego. When I say I'm really very good, that is my self-respect, my pride. But when I say I am better than all of you, then I think I'm talking about my ego. My ego has taken over the better of me, and my ego is now popping out, and that's what is ego. So, the moment I start comparing myself, either whether I feel superior to you or I feel inferior to you, doesn't matter. In any kind of whether it is superiority complex or inferiority complex, it's actually called as ego only. So, the moment I sing well, I like the way I sing. I think it's absolutely my pride, my self-respect. The moment I say I am the best in the world, or I'm the best singer in the entire country, or I'm the best in this group, I think that is where I am bringing me and other people and comparing. In comparison, I feel better than you, or I try to put you down. Then I think I am bringing in my ego. So when I say self-respect, it's purely up to me. I think I dance well. I think self-respect. I'm a better dancer than you, or I dance well than you. And I think that is ego. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm well-to-do human being. I think I'm doing very well in life. I have God's grace, a lot of money. I don't have to worry about my next one generation also. I think it's your hard work. It's your whatever you have deserved. You're worthy of the money that you have. But when you say I'm the richest, I'm richer than you. I'm the richer among all of you. I think we're talking about ego. We're just keeping it simple as long as the context is only me. I'm beautiful. I feel I'm beautiful. I sing well. I dance well. I study well. I'm good in my life. I live a very beautiful life. I'm good by nature. So when everything is from my perspective, no, don't get into this. I don't do think I means ego or what. I'm not talking about ahamkar ka aham. I'm talking about I am good. That's it. When I say I'm better than you, that's where the ego comes. I'm better dancer than you. I'm a better teacher than you. I'm better listener than you. I'm better in whatever. The moment you start comparing yourself with the other person or other people, I think you are brought in this dirty thing called ego. And the problem with ego is ego, ego. When ego comes, everything goes. So may as well hold everything with yourself, with your own context, and live your life than trying to compare yourself with anybody else, because we cannot be compared. None of us can be compared with anything that we already discussed in some sessions. Let's keep simple thing is this one simple thin line is I am good is my self-respect. I am better than you is my ego. Let's keep it as simple as that. We have been discussing on relationship from very different dimensions altogether, and by choice I have decided to only discuss those aspects which will not be discussed in the books, or you'll never get to read it in any kind of text somewhere. Something that I have understood, something that I have observed, something that I have practiced, and I think it has played a tremendous role in my life, in my relationships. I'm not saying because I am taking a session on relationship, I have all my relationships going right. What I'm saying is my degree of relationship, the ratio of my relationship. So out of 10, if I have to give marks to me, I can give myself 7 to 7.5 maybe. And I think it's a good number to have, a good score to have in relationship, because a lot of people score in minus. So we at least I'm talking about 7, 7.5. Today I intend to discuss three things. Let's see if I can do justice to these three things in this session. Otherwise, we'll continue in next session maybe, or I'll take something. In the meantime, let me also tell you next session onwards, that is next Monday. Next Monday, yeah, we have a session on next Monday. Next Monday, I intend to again speak on something which people think about, always keep talking about. Think big, think big, think big. But it is not as easy as it is said. Should think big. Think big means what? Okay, even if you know what is thinking big, how to think big. So I'm going to speak on maybe dedicating one session, or maybe if I require one more session, I will go with that flow. I'm going to speak next Monday on how to think big. What are the different ways, methods by which I can expand my mind so that my attitude or my natural thought process becomes thinking big about everything. So get tuned to the next Monday also, and let me just see how many of you are there so nicely coming. Very nice. Hi Vamsi, hi Arvind, hi Kavita, Jagdish, Malti, Milu, Joseph, Krish, Arna from Ahmedabad, Ju. Oh, that's nice. Few of them names have gone up, so I'm not able to read. But anyway, thank you for logging in. Thank you for joining. Okay, we have Vidya, we have Vinayak, we have Bhavesh, we have Varsha Bafna. Okay. Jai Surya, Sheila, Radhika, Saju, Mukesh, Santosh, Supraja, Rachita, oh, Ritu, Vinod Jadhav from Pune, Anisha, Rupal, Navneetu, Neetu, Vandana Mehra. Oh, the line goes up. Hema Vikram. Hema Vikram, once at least show your face to me. I just know your name. एक बार तो शक्ल दिखा दो आके यार. So many programs. Pachu, Rajni, Saju, Usha, Sharath. Love you guys, Kalyani. In case I missed one of your name, please, Micha Vikram, forgive me. Anyway, first thing which I think is the most, I have already spoken about in some context, but since I want to do justice to relationship management series, and I cannot complete the session without mentioning about this aspect. So in case you have already heard from me, it's okay. Repetition is the mother of learning. In relationship, there is no scope for punishment for past mistakes. This one thing is the most difficult part I have seen. Very instinctively, I have seen people just get carried away, and we keep on bringing the past in the present. In relationship, if you want to have a great relationship, if you want to develop relationships, we had discussed in the beginning, relationships are not built on agreement, they're built by understanding a lot of things, understanding that always right is not right, always wrong is not wrong. In relationship, in the matters of heart, matters of emotions, right looks wrong, wrong looks right. Sometimes right means nothing, sometimes wrong means everything. So it's more about understanding that at times even right will look wrong, and you should be able to accept and agree to it wholeheartedly. Relationships are like, I'm a very big patriot, but I will sorry to say that relationships are like Indian roads, always under maintenance. So no matter how much you have read books on relationship, how many discourses, program, courses, workshops you have done on relationship, but still somebody like me who talks about relationship in such depths, length and breadth, even today I have to work on my relationship. It's always under maintenance. Relationships are like Indian roads, always under maintenance, work in progress, always. So don't feel bad at times when you feel, because I used to initially feel I'm a teacher on life and I speak relationship, why I am struggling in my relationship, do I even have the right to talk about relationship? But I realize That's how it is. It's something which you have to keep on maintaining every day. It's not something that you have learned, so it is. It's not called built relationships. Built, it is building relationship building. It's called. It's a present continuous work. So don't feel bad in case few of times. And this one thing also will happen. Those of you attend my sessions regularly, your people will question you. Kya fayda? What is the point attending Deepak's program? You still behave that way only. There's no change in you. You still are shouting, angry, blah 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 blah. Don't get disheartened. Don't get disappointed. People love to pass comments when they see somebody not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So at least they have great expectations from you. So feel good about the entire thing. Just because you're attending my session, they expect you should be more matured, more understanding. Fair enough. It's okay. So one first understanding which I think we should bring into our life as a rule. I know relationships are not an agreement, but this is a personal rule. I'm not talking about agreement or a rule between two people or between few people. I'm talking about a rule, a principle of relationship that you should very, very strongly practice. Is there is no scope for punishment of past mistakes. We keep bringing past mistakes of each other into relationship, and that becomes a mess because see, you have discussed something. For example, very beautiful value which I have always practiced in relationship is, if there's an issue in the relationship, if it is not settled, we will not sleep. It can be husband wife, it can be parent child, it can be two friends, it can be girlfriend boyfriend, it can be any relationship between partners. Settle the matter, come to some kind of understanding. If required, worst come to worst, agree to disagree. This aspect is never going to be reconciled. It cannot be solved. Leave it like that. On this point, we agree to disagree, and never again mention about that topic. For example, between me and my relationship, which I have so many people in my life, there are few aspects which will, when a moment that a aspect comes out, pops out, there is going to be argument, there is going to be misunderstanding. They will have their own perspective, I will have my own perspective, and we both stand right on our perspective, and we will not conclude to any kind of common consensus. So those aspects, I make sure from my side I don't bring it into the relationship, because I know moment the topic will come, there will be an issue which will be irreconcilable, and there will be no solution to it. So let's not bring it into the discussion only. So a lot of things can be actually avoided. Do you have that habit of bringing in the past mistakes which have been either resolved, or you agreed to the disagree? That's how it is. And I've seen a lot of time, a lot of people, every time there is a discussion or there's a debate or there is an beginning of an argument, and at some point of time, very strangely, it's a very, very beautiful, I don't want to say trick, but a very beautiful insight which I want to give it to all of you or share with all of you is this: when the discussion becomes hot discussion, gets into debate mode, and then it may also get into an argument, a point comes where one of them realizes that this time they're actually not right, they're actually wrong, they have messed it up, but they realize after some time. At that time, whoever is feeling that they have lost it, or they have done wrong something, or they have done the mistake this time they have been caught on the wrong foot, what happens then? Simply saying the most amazing words which actually can matter a lot in that moment is, sorry, I think I was wrong, and I am really sorry for it, and I think matter over then and there. But somehow human ego in relationship especially takes over the best of us, and that very moment, the moment that one of the person realize this time it was their mistake, and they have been actually caught on the wrong foot, or maybe they actually did something stupid, then trying to then saying simple, plain, empathetic sorry, they start into the past. They dig into the past and bring out a situation where the other person was wrong, so that they can get an psychological advantage right now. Take it, leave it this time. Okay, just because I've done something. But do you remember last time what you did? Was it fair? That was so unfair of yourself. Now, in today's present scenario, why are you bringing something of the past? And who brings the past in the present? Most of the time, it is the person who is actually in that present done something wrong, or he is or she is on the wrong side, or they have been done the mistake, and then trying to say simple plain sorry. They dig into the past and take out series of incidents or accidents or those moments or those events where the other person was wrong, and this becomes a vicious cycle. The other person has his own inventory, own stock books. He or she will remove different experiences. You know what happened, and now suddenly we have the entire history in the story of their life today. The entire past is again relived. So you bring in all the dirty moments, all the bad moments, all the miserable moments, all the fights, all the arguments, which actually should have been done long time back, buried and over. We dig it the entire thing back and again bring it in the present and spoil the entire future. And it's the most craziest, stupidest thing anybody can do in relationship. I strongly feel and believe this. There is no scope for punishment in the relationship of the mistakes of the past. Think this time if you have done wrong, if you think also realize at that time, yes, I think I have done something. I think, oh yeah, you are right. I messed it up this time. I'm really sorry. And it's a very beautiful quality anybody can have in relationship is which we used to practice. I will admit it immediately and emphatically the moment I realize I was wrong. It takes a big heart to emphatically admit immediately and emphatically. That's more important. The moment you realize, oh yeah, correct. You justified, you explained, you argued, you discussed, you put your perspective, you put your point of view, and at some point of the whole thing discussion, you realize, मेरा गलती हो गया, it's my mistake. I think the best thing anybody can do as a sincere human being in the relationship is, I will admit it immediately and emphatically the moment I realize I was wrong. But we do next goof up. We try to communicate ourselves out of the misbehavior caused by our whatever we have done. We cannot communicate just because few of us can speak well. We try to communicate ourselves out of that misbehavior caused by our stupidities. I think it's very unfair. So rather than bringing the past mistakes of the other person to get a psychological edge over the other person, I think if you can just keep plain sorry and say, yeah, I think sorry. And the person will continue because now they have, because the other person, just because he or she is right that time, and if he has said sorry, they also won't stop because high on the emotion, they will say, see, you think only you are always right. Now we are, and they'll speak for another few more times. Now, that time, if the one who has said sorry, if they can patiently say, okay, now it's your chance, you say what you want to say. The moment the other person does not stop at the sorry, and for the sorry that you have actually uttered there, and the other person gets into a few more sentences and speak, you lose your patience and say, okay, told to sorry, now why this all shit, and then you again start, and then again this loophole, and again this loop starts, and again this vicious cycle. And I think that's such a crazy thing which we keep doing in life. If all of us can, so one first understanding here is very important that you should understand is, if whoever between the two is bringing the issue from the past or the past mistake they're bringing in, which means right now you should understand that person is wrong in this moment. So you know you have got it right now. Keep quiet now. You've got it now. That's it. The moment somebody brings the other person brings the past in the present, which means you know the person is feeling weak in this moment because they know they have lost it this time. So to get it to make up for the entire thing, they're bringing back something from the past. You already know, you have understood that the person is wrong. Stop it now. First point. Second, if you have understood you have done something wrong or you know it is a mistake, immediately and emphatically say sorry and be at it. Be at it. And the moment you have heard sorry from somebody, if it's not easy, but if you can just tell your emotions and say, okay, the person realized, no, let's stop. Don't add one more past incident from your side for the incident that other person has brought to counter it, and then they will bring one more counter, we will bring one more counter, and I think this whole thing is gets into such a vicious loop that there is no end to it. And then After that discussion, no, you don't even, for what you started the argument, that point is long time back lost. Now we're discussing something else. And now very crazy thing happens here is this. Now I'll just give a some little dramatic moment I have to create for all of you to understand. One major blunder that happens in relationship, which we have no idea about it, why it happens. Today I think I will explain to you what happens. As simple as this. The wife makes tea in the morning. In the hurry of the kitchen, morning, lot of work to be done, and she makes the tea for the man, and man sips the tea, and so much sugar you have put. So much means how much sugar he would have put, she would have put. She wouldn't have put one fist of sugar, right? You also know. One spoon extra sugar would have gone more than your taste of sugar. Now, for that, the kind of one sip only, not even whole coffee or a whole tea has been, they have not drank the whole tea or coffee, just the first sip. And the way they make the geography of their face go so ugly, even the ugliest country in the world will feel beautiful in front of your face. That how ugly face he'll make. This is a tea or what? And what do you think it would be? Extra sugar, she has added 1 spoon of sugar. She'll say, in this whole hurry burry, it would have happened. Leave it, I'll make another tea. Issue is what now? The issue is not even the tea. Issue here is the spoon of sugar. 1 spoon of sugar. I don't want tea only. My whole mood is only gone because of this tea. You can't even make a simple tea. The issue is only sugar, spoon of sugar. Now you are making comment about the other person's ability. Issue is sugar, but we are discussing about you can't even make proper tea also. He said, it's okay, every day I make tea. Today only it went wrong. Why are you getting so angry about the whole thing? As if you don't make any mistakes. Now she's also now not talking about the issue, she's talking about the ability of the person, the man or husband. You spoiled the tea, you spoiled my mood also. On top of it, you're telling me I don't do things properly. What do you know about my work? You know who I am in my work, how much respect I get, what salary I get, you know. You think after all this thing, wife will say, am I sorry, ma, I'll touch your feet? No, nothing. She'll say, just because you are paid properly or giving the salary, which means you're doing great job or what? And I'm because I'm a housewife, I don't get anything to be paid, which means I'm useless or what? I'm good for nothing or what? You must be good for nothing, you're useless. Now it is no more issue also, no more ability also. It's about the person's character only now. You're good for nothing, you're useless. The husband will keep quiet. No, I'm useless. Huh? I'm good for nothing. This house run because of me only, not because of you. This is how you speak. Do you even have manners to speak about? Whom am I talking? Your husband is speaking to this. This is what your parents taught you. Now, issue is still 1 spoon of sugar. It is still there only. Now, from the sugar, we went to ability, from ability to the character. Now, here gone to the family. Now, you're talking about the parents. Now, if you tell the wife anything about her parents, you have committed suicide on yourself. Then she has, and when woman is in the kitchen and she has all the weapons in front of her, what will come flying at you, you have no idea about it. And see, how dare you talk about my dad and mom? My dad and mom are much better than, look at your own mom, how she treats, she does not even know how to behave. Is that the tone to speak? What you know? The husband, don't bring my mom. But the issue is still the spoon of sugar. That is still there. Sugar is happily floating and involved in the entire tea, enjoying and laughing. See, these two idiots are going on hammering at each other, and I am the cause for the entire thing. And Sugar is saying, thank God, I am not even touched. I'm not even removed from here and thrown in the wash basin. I'm still here enjoying in the entire heat of the tea. And these buggers have become very hot now. And the issue. So, what mistake we do very sincerely, stupidly, and genuinely is this only. We should remain issue based in relationship. We become personality based. If we all can bring this discipline, that we always will stick to the issue and not the person, always be in relationship issue based and not personality based, we leave the issue and make the issue into personality issue. This is who you are. This is how you talk. This is how you behave. You don't even have the brains to even make a simple tea. You don't have manners to speak about. No, we are not talking about the issue. We're talking about the person's character, person's abilities, person's attitudes, person's behavior, which is very offensive. And anybody will get offended. Anybody will get offended. Ask yourself this question. Is it that you also at times in trying to resolve the issue, you get flare up and you get carried away with the entire thing and you start making comments about the person and about the person's family or person's friend circle, jo bhi hai. How can you do that? How can anybody do that? And I think that's one practice is very important. It's not easy. I'm saying this is the most difficult part because in the entire hype of emotion, we do not even know when we have crossed the lines and we have not no more issue based, we have become completely personality based. Never ever make personal comments about each other because of an issue. So one of the most important lesson which I think I've learned, practice, and I want to share with all of you this in relationship, always be issue based. What is the issue? Stick to the issue. The moment you realize the other person is or you are going out of the issue, bring the issue back, re-establish the context of discussion, and then continue. I'm telling you, you'll be able to resolve, or you might end with let's agree to disagree, and you can move swiftly, move properly, harmoniously in the relationship. One, don't bring, there is no scope for punishment of the past mistakes. The moment anybody brings the past mistakes and try to punish the other person for the past mistake in the present, it's already over. It only means this time you have done wrong and you're feeling weak. To cover up your weakness, to cover up your wrongdoing, wrong done, you're bringing something from the past to cover it up, which itself is an loss. Other person, if you are mature enough to understand, just stop it then and there and say, I think I've conveyed what I had to convey you. You also realize it. So let's not do the entire thing. Let's keep quiet here and move forward and do something else. One, two, stay on the issue. Stay in the, whatever the issue is. As simple as two cars on the road bang each other, or the car behind comes and just touches the bumper, and the other person comes up, rolls his sleeves and removes the watch and say, how dare you do this? Issue is what? The issue is a small dent on the car. Let's talk about the issue. No, talk about the dent. But no, we have to show our immaturity in public. Is this the way to drive? Why straight away everybody's ability? If that person did not know how to drive, how is still alive to hit your car? Long time back only he would have died or he would have killed few people on the road. He's still driving means he still have the ability. Just once in a while, who decides to come and bang the car? Anybody has to. Today I feel like tokofying somebody's car. Today I feel like banging into somebody's car. It just happens. The issue is a small dent on the bumper or in the on the car or in the car somewhere. Talk about the issue, boss. What to do about it? I did not do it purposely. I understand, but dent has happened on my car because of your mistake. What can we do? He may pay for it, or he may take it to the workshop, or you might claim from the insurance, or he might pay from the insurance. Issue resolved, karo. No, no, we will get into. You don't know how to drive. Who bloody gave you license about driving on the road? Rasta tere baap ke aaya kya? And now you go from ma, baap, and every whole family, khandan, whole ancestors, everybody is brought. That is why I think they do this Shraddha, Pitru Paksha every time, because every fight you bring ancestors, they get angry. To pacify them only in every time in that Dasara period, they will do this. 15 days Pitru Paksha is there now. Maybe for this only. Every now and then we'll bring everybody's ancestors in the entire discussion. Issue was what? Dent in the car, no. Talk about dent, no. No? My dear friends, be issue based and not personality based. This is one thing I want to share with you. The other thing is, if you want to again develop relationship, build relationship, nurture relationship, another thing which you should not get involved is, in relationship there is no scope for punishment for relatives' mistake. And this is the most craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. There is no scope for, and please listen to this point very, very carefully, because most of us end up doing this without our knowledge, and then we keep wondering why the hell and what the hell is happening. In relationship, there is no scope for the mistakes of the relatives. Something a relative will do. And for that, You'll start punishing this person because he or she happened to be this person's relative. मतलब ये कहाँ का इंसाफ है यार? This is what kind of justice is this? For example, my mom and Vaishali, my wife, they have some issue. Now I am poor husband. I come from the office. I have no idea what happened between my wife and my mom, and both of them treat me horribly. My mom shouts at me and says, "Your wife does not have any sense. She does not know how to speak, and this and that." I'm just giving a very hypothetical situation. This all doesn't happen in my house. But then using, instead of talking about your mom and your wife, I'll talk about my mom and my wife. No, I've taken from their permission. I will use you as a course material in my program. So they won't get offended with this. And my mom is shouting at me, but what is my mistake in this? If Vaishali, how she got provoked by my mom, what mama said, and what was her reaction was, and how it all happened, I was not present there. And my mom will not talk to me for a few days. My mom will show me faces. My mom will give me one glare, one stare like that. And I think I have done a crime. What Vaishali did with my mom, how they both spoke to each other, I had no idea. But for Vaishali, even if it was Vaishali's mistake, for her mistake, I am getting punished. Is it fair? Or I go back to my room and Vaishali is sitting with, and I'm trying to talk to her what's happened, and she's not responding, she's not answering. And I'm thinking, I am already twice told her also, okay, ma, I'm sorry in case if I've done something, anything wrong, please forgive me. And I later realized after 2 hours of discussion, it was not my mistake. And for what the hell I have told sorry, I have no idea about it. My mom did not talk to her properly. My mom did not treat her properly. And my mom's mistake, maybe, but for that I am being punished. Is it fair? Absolutely, I don't think it's fair. Just because my in-laws did not treat me properly, that does not mean I'm going to go and torture my wife for that. That is so unfair. And it is unfair means I think it is not absolutely acceptable and tolerable. My brother-in-law speaks to me rudely. We both have been childhood friends, and when something happens, and I come back and say, talk to Vaishali and say, your brother does not have any brain. He does not understand this and that, and then start shouting at Vaishali. Vaishali, what is my mistake in the entire thing? What I did in the, I was not even aware what that both of you meant. I'm not even aware what happened between two of you for all these years. Suddenly, for something he behaved with you rudely or whatever it may, why are you shouting at me and punishing me? Strange, isn't it? I don't even know how many people even if they are even aware of all these things. I have seen, I have known for issues. The wife's mama, means wife's side, my wife's maternal uncle happened to come in the street where you live. And for whatever reason, he didn't come to your house. He met few people, he met somebody on the street and went back. You happened to see his car or bike and you saw him going back. You come and shout, your mama had come here for last 2 hours. He was in the same street. He didn't even have the courtesy to come and visit and say hi to us. Hmm? What kind of mama you have? What kind of family you have? This and that. And you start shouting at your wife. Wife says, what is my mistake in the whole thing? My mama came, my maternal uncle came for his personal work and he didn't even inform he's going to come here. If he has informed he's going to come and he didn't turn up, I understand. He just came and he went, finished his work. Why are you getting fired up? And I think this is not fair. I saw him. If I just because I saw him in the street doesn't mean I have to. He has to come and visit us. But it is okay. Even if taken, this is not a courtesy thing that the maternal uncle has come and he should at least visited. Okay, expectation is there, not fulfilled. Even if he's wrong, for that you go and talk to mama. No, you should call the maternal mama bol raha hai. Maternal uncle ko you call up and tell, hello hello mama ji, I happen to see you in the street. You're there in the street in somebody's house for 2 hours. Why you didn't come to the home? I thought you will come down here and shout at the mama. No, shout at the maternal uncle. For that we don't have guts, and we'll shout at somebody who has not even the part of the mistake. How is it possible? You tell me, is that fair? Is there a scope for relatives mistake in relationship? And how many times we keep doing it? Somebody behaved with somebody for something. For that, if you go and I tell Vaishali, you go and talk to mummy. What do you want to say? It's okay. I'm standing. I'm there. I tell mom, you speak to her what you want to blabber. You both of you finish. I'm there. I'm standing in front of both of you. I'm willing to stand next to both of you. But for no mistake of mine, why are you punishing me? By carrying a long face, miserable face, sad face, nobody talks to anybody. And what is my mistake? No mistake of mine. I think it's absolutely unfair that we bring in the relatives' mistake. Marriage houses. So many people involved. Everybody's emotions will not be able to be taken care of. Such a simple understanding, no? A house, marriage house, wedding is going to happen in days, weeks, months together. Everybody has pressure, everybody has expectation, everybody is hyped up, everybody is overexcited, everybody is hyper. A lot of things are pending from everybody's side. Everybody is trying to cope up. Isn't it the time where you actually should understand each other more? No. That time, other day your uncle came, other day your auntie came, other day in-laws came, and that is what they spoke. How can they speak? And for the mistakes of in-laws or mistakes of the this side party, that side party, two of them are arguing and fighting and trying to convince or trying to complain about something where both of them are not involved. My dear friend, there is no scope for punishment in a relationship for a relative's mistake. It has, and if you really feel it was something worth attention, call up that relative. No, call up that relative and say, this is what you did, I did not like it. We don't have that guts, we don't have that courage. And I think that's so unfair. That's so unfair. So please do not punish your relatives or punish your loved ones for the relative's mistake, which I think is very, very unfair from our side. So number one, there is no scope for punishment because of the past mistake in today's relationship. And if you're doing it, which means right now in the present you're feeling weak because you're losing on that what right now you're discussing on. Two, discuss on the issue. Don't discuss about the person. Three, there is no scope for punishment in a relationship for a relative's mistake, which I think is very, very unfair. I can give a lot of examples. I think I put my point properly in front of all of you so that I can discuss another point, because I want to really do justice to relationship management series with this last point. And the most important and the most dirty quality which people have is this in relationship: gossip. Nothing has destroyed more relationships, more families, more business houses, more monarchies than gossip. Gossip is like that termite which slowly starts making the relationship foundation so weak that you cannot ever enjoy life with anybody. One, let's not gossip. And two, let's not listen to gossip. Again, a very personal principle, a personal fundamental rule for relationship, you should have it. You should not gossip. What I mean by gossip is this: don't speak about people. Speak to people if required. Don't speak about people. It's like one of you, for example, right now, there is Vivek sitting on my left side and Vamshi sitting on my right side. We all three are friends. Okay, same office we work. Now, Vamshi comes and talks something about Vivek to me, which is not right. Even if it is whatever, he shouldn't come and talk to me about Vivek. Good, no problem. But if it's something bad, ill about somebody, you should not. You should practice this value. I will not speak ill of anybody to anybody. And I speak all the good about the person that I know. If Vamshi comes and speaks something bad about Vivek to me, and I give an ear to him, which means one, he likes to gossip, and I like to hear gossip. Both of us are wrong. I won't say wrong. I think this is very immaturish. So when he comes and tells me I have to speak something about Vivek, I tell him, if it is about Vivek, why don't you bring Vivek also? Sit both of you and talk to me. Because what happens when he's talking in front of Vivek, no, that extra masala which we put from our side, no, that will be dropped. instantly. Now he comes and talks something to me about Vivek for 30 minutes. Now look at the whole confusion here. I won't say confusion, the blunder that has been created. Now when Vamshi goes back from here, my mind thinks, in the absence of Vivek, he's talking about Vivek, he's talking bad about Vivek to me, which means tomorrow in my absence, Vamshi might go and talk bad about me to Vivek or somebody else. So I have doubt towards Vamshi. This is my thought process. Vamshi goes from here. Now he is full time struggling. What if Deepak goes and tell this to Vivek? Vivek will come to know that I complained or I gossiped about him to Deepak. I may not speak to Vivek, but he's disturbed all the time. It's that nibbling effect is happening into his head that what if Deepak will tell to Vivek? What if Deepak will tell to Vivek? And he'll come and tell me also, don't tell all this thing to Deepak, to Vivek. And very strange things. When somebody comes and tells you, I have a secret to tell, it is no more secret because if it's a secret, why he will tell you? First thing, it's no more a secret. It was never a secret. The people, I have one secret to tell you about that person, but don't make sure you don't tell anybody. Be rest assured, if he is telling it to you, he would have told it to somebody else also. And to the same other person who told the same thing, were told secret, don't tell anybody. If he's telling a secret, it cannot be called a secret. No, it's only passing on information. Just that he trusted to pass on the information to me. He is miserable because of he is thinking what if Deepak go and tell it to Vivek, which I may not tell, which may I tell. Now, after Vamshi has spoken about Vivek, my mind toward Vivek is now got little manipulated. So Vivek comes happily, hi Deepak, how are you? I say, no, I know about you. I'm telling it to myself. Now suddenly there's a gap between me and Vivek. Vivek is confused why there is a gap between nowadays. Deepak doesn't speak with me properly. What happened? Yeah, why? And I choose not to speak to him because I speak. People speak about people, and I always believe to speak to people about people. But I won't speak to Vivek because I'm also immature. Now because of this, I am away from Vivek. The distance between me and Vivek. Because I have a doubt that Vamshi, in absence of Vivek, can speak about Vivek to me. He also might speak about me to somebody else. So I have distance from him also. Vamshi is full time troubling him. What if Deepak has come to know? And when next time Vamshi and Vivek meets, Vamshi's mind is confused whether Deepak has told Vivek or so. He is himself also not completely spontaneous. So Vivek is thinking why Vamshi is not behaving properly, why Deepak is not behaving properly, and now he is also withdrawing because nobody is responding to him properly. Now, just because of plain simple gossip, three friends who were actually doing good with each other have actually losing on each other because of one stupid thing called gossip. And that's what gossip can do to us. One very simple personal fundamental principle: I will not speak ill of anybody in their absence. And if I have spoken, I'll ensure I'll call up and tell person and tell him also, right now I spoke this about you. I think you should know from me only, because how somebody will come and put it to you, I have no idea about it. So I just want to tell you, Vivek, right now Vamshi had come and I told him about few things about you, which anyway I would have told you if he was there with you. Or he was with you or you were with him also. So I know I don't have that burden about. Now this is where gossip destroys relationship. One, we should not speak about anybody. That's the rule. Two, if somebody is talking to you about somebody, you should not listen to it. I do counseling for a lot of people, and I always tell them, when there's especially relationship counseling, I tell them, if it is about the other person, why don't you bring the other person and let's talk three of us? So there's no confusion because you have your story, they will have their own story. If I listen to only you, it's going to waste of your time and my time. We can't come to any conclusion because I don't want you to speak about somebody in their absence. Rule of relationship: speak to people, don't speak about people. Speak to people, don't speak about people. Speaking about people in their absence does not need courage, it is a cowardice. तुम डरपोक है. To speak to people, I think it needs courage. And I think it's not about only doing this on the main road or on the roads or on the line of control. I think in the most sensitive matters called relationship also you need courage to talk to people. This is what I feel about you. I want to tell you this on your face. Maybe put it diplomatically, maybe put it very sugar coated, maybe put it very blunt if you have to, but don't talk about people, because when you talk about people, in what tone you speak and what actually happened, there's so much of manipulation in the whole thing. There's so much of wrong information passed away and wrong emotion passed away. So in the whole process, a person is royally misunderstood when it was not such a kind of grave mistake or grave thing that actually happened. So when somebody speaks to you about somebody, don't give an ear to it. But what to do? Human weakness. We love gossips. But gossip is that termite. It will start eating the relationship from the foundation itself. And I have seen with my own eyes, and history witnesses, empires have fallen down because of the gossips. Organizations have been crumbled because of the grapevines and the rumors and the gossip that has been created. Relationships have been shattered and devastated because of gossip. A maid servant called Manthara gossips about Rama and Kausalya and Dasratha to Kaikeyi. And we have an epic misery called Ramayana, where nobody is happy. From Dasratha to Kaikeyi to Manthara to Rama to Sita to Kausalya to Lakshmana to Vibhishana to Ravana to Shurpanakha. Not a single character except Hanumana is happy in the entire thing because of one gossip that Manthara didn't spoke about Rama, spoke about Kausalya, spoke about Dasaratha in a wrong communicative tone to Kaikeyi for her personal interest. And we have a Ramayana. I have been a victim of it, a royal victim of it, that people have gossiped so much about me, and people love to hear about people who are on the screen or they're on the dais. And I have so many people have missed me, and I have missed so many beautiful people in my life just because gossip was done in full scale, no censorship, no sensitivity, adding unwanted masala to the entire thing. And people love to listen to gossip. And I think that is where I would bring in Socrates for all of you, who said such an amazing thing he gave to the world, said triple filter test. With this, I think we will end the session here. Triple filter test. He said, whenever somebody comes to me, I have this triple filter test. The moment they come to me, I ask them, what are you going to come and tell me right now? Is it the truth? If the answer is no, I don't know, I only heard from somebody, then it's a rumor, no, there is no basis to it, no, then I don't want to listen what is not truth. First filter only, it is over. Suppose the person says, yes, it is truth. Immediately you'll ask second filter. Is it good or is it bad? It's not good, it's something bad only. If it is bad, I don't want to hear it. Clear. Second filter only, it is over. The other person doesn't need to speak. Suppose the other person said, no, it is very good, sir. I want to speak something that is truth and is also good. Then that the third test comes, third filter comes from Socrates. He says, what you're going to tell me, I know it's the truth and it is good for me, good also, but is it going to be useful for me? If it is useful for me, do share with me. And the person says, no, it's right, good, truth only, but it is not useful to you. What will you do knowing it? It's not important for you. It's not going to be useful for you. If it's not going to be useful for me, don't tell it to me. It's done, over. Triple filter test. Is it truth? Yes, continue. Is it good? Yes, continue. Is it useful? Yes, continue. Now I think you have a right information. You heard something that is truth, something that is good, something that is useful. I think it will change your life. But if it is going to be a lie, if it's not going to be the truth, if it is going to be bad and it is not going to be useful, it's only going to corrupt your mind. It's going to only contaminate your mind. And gossip does the same thing. Gossip contaminates your mind. Gossip manipulates your mind. Gossip destroys your mind. It corrupts your mind. And a nice, gentle, super beautiful, plain, Sincere mind, happy, loving, caring mind suddenly has a virus called gossip. Please stay away from this virus called gossip, because once it goes in the software of your mind, of your brain, it is corrupted file. Not only it destroys your peace of mind, it also will destroy the other person's peace of mind and their life for no mistake of the person. Please avoid these few things in relationship if you want to have beautiful and happy relationship and harmonious relationship. And let me end up the entire thing. Even if I discuss all these things, we will forget all these things. So keep making sure that you keep visiting the sessions now and then, so that it can be again refreshed into your memory. Repetition is the mother of all the learning. So please keep being there, and make sure that if you are liking what we're discussing here, do comment, write your comments, whatever you feel like sharing, share. Do like this whole thing, subscribe to whole thing, so more people can be reached, because this is what everybody in the world needs it. So don't hold it only for yourself. Good should be shared with the whole world. If it is a bad thing, then keep for yourself. Good, give it to everybody else. So those of you want to continue, let's continue on relationship management series. And next Monday we'll discuss about how to think big. The different ways, methods by which you can expand your thought process, or you can make mind to think big. So stay tuned on Sampoorna. Thank you so much. Happy relationships, and make sure that, I know it's going to be always work in progress, but happily work on relationships. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Tata.